Calling out all my nerds, freaks, and geeks. It's mob time.
Don't tune in cause it's showtime. Go ahead and call the gang up for the one time. Rap, food, rhyme, got them on the line. And my life's still great, I'm doing just fine. Hands up.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Blurred Mob, your hub for all things black and nerdy. I'm your host, Phoop, joined by my two co-hosts, Ryun and Antoine, and we are here today to give you guys our review of Demon Slayer Infinity Castle, the movie.
Yep.
I haven't seen anything official saying that this is part one, but this is the first movie in the trilogy of Demon Slayer movies that's going to end off the entire series. So I don't know if the second movie might not be called Infinity Castle, it might be called something else, but I don't know.
That's
We'll
interesting,
see.
actually. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, I thought they were going to put part one on there, but I haven't seen anything that says part one, so.
If I can assume we all read the manga. If I can assume how the manga ended it, I can see there being a part two and then the third movie having a different name.
That's what I'm anticipating, but I just found it interesting that this first movie, it just says Infinity Castle, not Infinity Castle Part 1, it just says Infinity Castle.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer, we all stress. It's going to be the next.
Right. Get out of there! Demon Slayer! It's gonna
Demon
be
Slayer, get out!
Demon Slayer, who dies next?
Right. But, so its Japan release was July 18th, 2025, and the US release was September 12th, 2025. So if you have not seen the Demon Slayer movie, stop here, pause the video,
Get
go
out.
basically get out right now. And go finish the movie and come back and listen to the conversation. But if you have watched the movie, we're going to go ahead and get into it because this is going to be a spoiler-filled fun time. For those...
We can finally talk about the stuff we read in the manga. Finally.
I was just going to say, if you've been here for a minute, if you've been rocking with us, you know that me, Ryun, and Antoine have read the manga for Demon Slayer. So we already know how this shit's end. We are just sharing our thoughts about how it looks finally being animated, what new things they brought to the table, and basically giving our thoughts about how this is going to progress.
Yeah.
Going towards
We won't talk
the
about
end.
anything after this movie, though.
Yeah, we're not gonna spoil it.
We're not gonna spoil it that much.
Dang it.
Right. We're talking about the movie. We can't talk about.
He said, "Oh shucks."
He had a list of things he was about to spoil.
I can't wait for this fight. The dude with 6 eyes. I know what's coming next.
He got his pen out. Fuck.
Yep. Cross this out.
No, I think we should stick to the movie. So
I had no intentions on spoiling the manga. I was just saying that we have a unique insight into the movie because we read the manga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was my purpose of making that known. We're not going to spoil the rest of Demon Slayer for those who are strictly anime only.
So don't fret.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
fret. Stick around for the conversation.
Don't
touch that dial.
We're only spoiling the movie, not the entire franchise.
Right. But here we go. So let's start at our general conversation starter. How did you guys feel about the movie as far as the animation goes? And let's talk about the length a little bit because this movie was 2 hours and 35 minutes, which I feel like is the longest I've ever sat through an anime film.
So,
most definitely.
Let's get the easy stuff out of the way. This is peak animation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Demon Slayer, you know what? It is being carried by the animation. I ain't mad at that. That little snowflake that Akaza stood on, that was the most colorful, fluid-looking snowflake I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, let's even go backwards before we get to the Akaza fight. The way that they animated Doma's ice, his demon power...
That ice looked like it was coming off the screen.
And the way that they did Shinobu's breathing style,
bug
with the
insect breathing or whatever.
with the insects and shit.
That was nice. I
That was
like seeing
cold.
that.
Yeah.
And
She
then
had that dragonfly and all that. Yeah,
the
that was
dragonfly
nice.
shit was cold,
That
and
was
then even
nice.
going after that, Zenitsu versus the upper six.
Yeah.
The way they animated like the lightning.
That
with
flame
Zen-
thunder god mode 7 form he used. I was like, oh.
that dragon,
That was
the
nice.
lightning dragon shit that he did. Yeah.
Look, this is peak animation. I'm sorry. It looked beautiful.
It's so easy to watch because it's so beautiful. It's like,
yeah,
it's just like as realistic as it can get while still being an anime because it's just like the details and everything is so crisp. It's just it's so easy on the eyes.
And
like
every sword swing, bro. Just the fight choreography, bro.
Yeah. Like I know a while back when me and Ryan were talking about the 2-year breaks and the fact that they were hiring additional animators onto the project. I get it. I see why we had to call in reinforcements.
Yeah.
I see because that was nuts.
Tanjiro's little ultra instinct. I was like, oh, y'all showing all the fibers of the muscle and stuff up in this. It look good. Yeah, it look good.
I would just say, just starting with the way that they animated the Infinity Castle itself, like how do you animate infinity? How do you animate a space that is infinite, that is constantly changing, where the platform that we're fighting and battling on can change at any second, where we're basically doing fucking Soul Calibur in the middle of the damn fight?
Exactly.
So
not Soul Calibur. She said 3D movements. I can go up, down, left, and right, and forward and back.
But I'm just thinking of Zenitsu's fight, where how they were leveled at first, and then they go this way, where they're falling, and then Zenitsu goes back this way, do his thing, and it was just like there's so many different angles that we're playing from in this castle.
Yep.
And the way that it's animated, you can clearly see that we're not on the same plane. We're not on the same level when it comes to certain scenes in this fight.
Yeah, like the way they played with different angles. Like I'm gonna keep it focused on Demon Slayer. Like the only few animes that really did this type of stuff well, I think the first time I really saw it was like Chainsaw Man, with the way they played with different angles, and like this current season of Dun Dun Dun, like the way they really had a good idea of space and where you're located in that current space and room. They did a great job. Like it felt like I was actually in a regular room.
I would give props to Attack on Titan with that too, with the 3D gear that they have.
Yeah.
But I think, but yes, if we want to just talk about like what's currently happening right now, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
Like the way we've been playing, the way that, like you said, that we've been using more of the space given. I would even give it to JJK.
JJK been playing with new angles too. Yeah,
with some of their fights too.
I gotta say, is seeing this in theaters great experience. I can't be mad at them.
I want to get in the D-box seats. They said the D-box seats.
They said they throwing steam, water, everything at them.
They said the D-box seats go dumb.
Yeah. Look, I just had regular IMAX, Adobe, and all of that. I was like, man, throw some steam at me.
We just saw the XD, but they said them D-box seats went crazy with the way that they were like traversing through the castle. Like you could actually feel like how they were moving through it, and I was like, damn, that's like, if sitting there stationary was top tier experience, I know them D-box seats just take you to the castle. Moon.
I want them to blow some heat on my neck when Tanjiro start doing Hinakami Kagura. I want all that.
Nah, for real. But but going into the length, I get it. The way that we stopped, where we stopped for this movie, and everything that they tried to fit into this movie, I think gave it a reason for it to be 2 hours and 30-something minutes long. Because I've walked out of movies that's been like 2 hour plus, and I'd be like, this didn't have to be 2 hours.
I kind of feel like in between on it. Like I'm not mad that it was 2.5 hours. Once we start getting to the end, I was like, yeah, we can go ahead and wrap this up at the same time. It's like this is good, so I'm not mad that it's continuing. So it's like I kept checking my time during the movie, and I was like, oh, we still in here. Oh, we've been sitting here for a while, but I wasn't angry about it. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, they could probably wrap this up right now.
The fact that you felt that and I felt that too lets me know that this was too long, or rather, and we can get into it later. They did not do a good job at maintaining the way that they're playing with your emotions throughout this movie. Because I definitely
agree.
felt the length. After about an hour 45, I felt this is a 2-hour plus movie.
And I was about to get into that as a whole, given where they stopped at and what because I guess I'm looking towards the future about what's coming next. And the things that this movie set up, I get it. Because if we got into this movie and certain things weren't set up the way that they were in this movie, everybody was going to be confused. It was going to be crazy. But I do agree that the length was felt. And my thing about it is going into Ryan's thing with, it was the flashbacks. Honestly, it was the flashbacks. Now, let me explain a bit more. Let me get more in detail. Shinobu's flashbacks made sense. That's a whole piece in itself. The Zenitsu fight with the flashbacks, that's a piece in itself. The Akaza thing, I kind of feel like they dragged that out a bit too long. It was that transparent mode, that shit with Tanjiro in the middle. That's what blew me. Honestly.
That pissed me off too.
That's where, when you sit down for too long and you start like readjusting in your seat, trying to get comfortable.
Well, you really start paying attention to that time. Like, I've been sitting here for a minute.
That was the moment in the movie when my ass started shifting against the movie theater seat. Because why did we take 30 minutes to go through Tanjiro's flashback just for you guys to tell me all he has to do is not have malicious intent when fighting Akaza?
That's the part of the time when you start looking at your phone and stuff, and you start paying attention to other stuff.
It's like all right now, like we get
it. Like, and if I had to make a hot take about that, I'm gonna be honest. Yes, the graphics were amazing, but if they invested all this money into quality animation, I feel like they should have made it a series, or rather just a full 6-episode season. Because watching this all at once, I think I still would have appreciated the animation and the story just as much if this was a 6-episode season and then season 2 came next year and season 3 after that. Because in my opinion, throwing this all at me at once was just overbearing.
And that's fair, especially given what we saw. Like, we're trying to maintain flashbacks as well as what's happening in the present. I understand that. I think, and I agree with those who say this could have been a season, like a core 1, core 2, core 3 part thing. I think what really just gets me about this whole Demon Slayer movie trilogy situation is the 2-year gaps.
That's
at the core of all of, I feel like at the core of all of the complaints, and this should have happened and this could have happened and we would have done this or whatever, the core is that they're taking these 2-year gaps.
Yeah. Because if had you told me this was coming out, the next movie was coming out next year, like I'm gonna give them, I would say max a year, to be honest, max a year for the next movie. Had you told me the next one was coming out next year, I'd be like, okay, cool, this is fine, because it would really feel like we're just continuing, because that's kind of like what we're used to anyway, with as far as pacing. But 2 years, and this is what I have to end on.
Now you're saying, but Antoine, now you're saying what I said in another episode. I can remember if it was like 2 episodes ago, because that's what I was saying. I was like, this is only 3 volumes worth of information. I can pull down the 3 volumes that these movies are covering. Keep in mind, a One Piece, as much flashbacks and filler as they do, it only takes about 3 episodes to cover 1 volume. So you're finna milk this, and the only reason it's taking y'all 2 years is because you're investing so much money and manpower and woman power into the freaking animation. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful, but for what you're showing me, you would have been better off giving me a core 1 of final season of Demon Slayer in January 2026, core 2 in November, and core 3 in freaking June 2027. I'd rather you did that.
And I agree with that. Whether it had been movies or had it been seasonal, I firmly stand on the belief that we should have got like year gaps in between all this shit.
And then it would have lowered the intensity of them Akaza scenes. Imagine if Akaza's flashback, because that was basically, it felt like 30 minutes. I'm not gonna lie.
That was a 45-minute episode.
Ultra Instinct.
That was a 45-minute episode right there.
Yeah.
That was the final episode right there, and then everything else is condensed into 5 nice episodes. Zenitsu and his fight, that's about 2. Doma and Shinobu, that's about 3. Boom, you got or rather, a portion of Akaza would have been in one of them episodes. Yeah. That's the whole season right there. Core 1. And we would have been content. Because I felt that length.
I'm telling you, when it got to Tanjiro in that transparent mode and talking about his beloved father and that bear and that axe in them damn shoes, I was like, where are we?
Yeah. Where are we going with this? Where
are we?
And just being honest, because I don't want people to think we're haters, but I'm a hater of everything I like because I can critique the things I enjoy. Part of this is also just how Demon Slayer tells their stories. The second a character is about to die, you want to throw us in flashbacks. And when I'm sitting here in a movie...
But my thing is that's why I was saying earlier, Shinobu's thing, fine, because Shinobu kicked the bucket. Zenitsu thing, fine, because his homeboy that he was growing up with and they were going to be leaders or whatever, I get it. Akaza's thing, I get it. That shit in the middle with Tanjiro, ain't nobody die. Ain't nobody lose no limbs. Nothing life-changing happened for Tanjiro. Why are we here for 30 minutes?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just going to be honest, when it comes to the story, because I got to get there, got a bag. Do y'all act how outside of animation? Because after this movie, I was with like a group of like 5 people. Everybody, peak animation. How did y'all actually feel, even though you watched it? How'd you feel about the plot?
I think we talked about this in the last. It might have not have been. I don't think it was our Hashira training art review. It might have been the Swordsman Village art, where we talked about the same thing about people complaining about the Demon Slayer story being repetitive, and it is. But I feel like we were letting it slide because we had been consuming Demon Slayer episodically. But I think sitting down, going back to the length and really feeling the length of this 2-hour movie, I think we really felt the burn of Demon Slayer being repetitive in its storyline.
Because every Hashira, every Demon Slayer, oh my gosh, demons killed my family and my friends, and that's why I became a Demon Slayer. Yeah. Every demon, I had a pretty decent life, or I was poor and in the hood, and then because I got angry, boom, either Muzan or Upper Moon turned me into a demon. Every story plot, every character background, every single one. We don't even gotta watch them at this point.
It 100% is repetitive. I would say I would still enjoy the plot without the animation because I read the manga, obviously, and I enjoyed the manga. So, and I was like really into that when we first was reading those mangas at work. Phoop was really into that. So I would say the animation definitely gives it a whole bunch of extra points, but I'm still into it without it. So
I think there are certain characters in Demon Slayer, though the plot and the storylines and the motivation seem repetitive. I think there are a few characters that even though they are repeating the same themes, it hits me a bit harder than everybody else.
I agree with that, but if I had to be more specific, I think it helps that Tanjiro is not your cliche meat-headed, loud butthole that happens to have high battle IQ. I think the fact that Tanjiro is a dynamic MC that allows you to cling to him despite pretty much every character filling your typical anime trope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not the typical idiot, but only smart when he's fighting, or just overly physically strong for whatever reason. Tanjiro is actually smart, and I like Tanjiro as an MC.
Exactly, because the sad part when it comes to their storytelling, like, it's not much of a spoiler, but y'all, that little flashback to Tengen protecting old buddy and Rengoku's dad, unless they add something that was in the manga, that's the last time you seen him. It's not like we finna go back and get more character development.
That wasn't a flashback though. That was just showing what was happening outside of everybody else being inside the castle.
Oh, flashback was a misspeak, but what I'm saying is, like, that little scene with them, it's not like we finna get more time with Tengen since he's one of the few Hashira that didn't die after a fight.
I would hold that thought. I would honestly hold that thought, because we already have seen that the animators are throwing in a little bit extra that wasn't in the manga into the season and the movies. So I wouldn't do a definite say that that's our last time seeing them. But if we're just going off with how the manga went, yes, you see them boys once, and that's it.
Yeah, you're not finna get much more storytelling with the rest of these movies unless they add some stuff like the training arc, which was all additions. This is as far as the story goes.
So they could. It's there if they want to, but will they? Is the question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's dive more into these fights though. So let's start with we're gonna start with the fight that happened first and just work our way down. Doma versus Shinobu.
Yeah.
They let Shinobu shine.
They did. When my girl, I already knew what was coming, but like I said before at the beginning, the way they animated Doma's demon art, the way that they animated her breathing style, beautiful. The way that I like the way that she put everything together. First of all, I loved it because Doma is a rage baiter. He is the number one rage baiter out of this whole series. So Shinobu's looking like, you're the motherfucker that killed my sister. And he's just like, hell yeah,
how you doing? Come on in. For your sister tea. I kill who? Yeah,
you're so fast. You're so strong.
That would have pissed me off that entire fight.
What was he like? All these.
Breaking them. He was like, I like that poison. You got some more?
Man, he giving her pointers during the fight. He was like, you might want to hit me again before I neutralize this other one. Man, that would have ticked me off.
He was truly pissing her off. Truly. Like, she was already mad. She's like a mini Hulk. You know, like in Avengers, when Hulk was like, that's my secret cap. I'm always angry. Like, she showed up upset. And then we just physically see her become upset. And then Doma's not making it any better. And then at the same time, none of her poison is working. She's in this room with this upper moon too, that's rage baiting the hell out of her. So I was like, yeah, number one rage baiter of Demon Slayer. But she did her big one though. My favorite part is when like her sister showed up and she basically was just like, get your ass up and Tatake. Get your ass up.
I can't. Well, too bad.
She was like, if you're gonna do this, she came real bitch shit. She said, if you gonna do this, if you gonna come up in this room and say you're gonna get this demon, go get that goddamn demon. Get up.
But my legs are crushed. I can't feel my feet.
That's too damn bad.
She's bleeding out her chest. Her insecurities start seeping in, like why I'm not taller, why my hands so small. Her sister said, fuck all that.
She said, girl, I'm 4'11". I can't even cut a Hashira's neck. Like, I can't. They cut up my sword so I can hold it. I didn't do this because I wanted it.
Her sister said, I don't give a damn. Get up.
None of that matters. Get up.
And I was like, that's real. That's about as real.
Yeah.
If you
Because
was
at
gonna
this
come,
point, you're too involved. You can't run. You can't go
if
nowhere.
you
in too deep now. If you
right,
wanted to be the Hashira.
Yeah.
right,
You
she
in the
told her
room.
not to, so you did it anyway. You went into this room with this upper two, no backup.
Mm-hmm.
Now he done cut your chest open, and you want to give up? Nah, you gonna have to see this. You gonna have to see this through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will give it this. I like how they highlighted her Sugokus or whatever, and how they highlighted the little girls who work at the hospital, because it's like, Shinobu, albeit weaker than the other Hashira, like she's literally at the bottom of the totem pole. The manga list out who's the strongest and who's the weakness on one of them pages.
Yeah.
I'm like, she trained quite a few versions of Kanao. She done saved a lot of girls who fall into the same boat of, we might not fight, but we're going to help out, work in the science area of this stuff, do what we can to support the Demon Slayers. And I like that they highlighted that. Like, she walked in knowing she was going to lose in real life. She just wanted to make sure that she went down fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I would say I like Shinobu. She's one of my favorite Hashiras, because it's like, everybody's like, / demon, we're big, strong, sword. But she has to be
She in there
smarter.
mixing concoctions.
She has to be smarter. She has to be a bit more strategic with how she approaches these situations.
Yeah.
Like, even when we first got introduced to her, even though she was smaller, the weakest, the way she was chasing after Nezuko when they had first met, when she was like, bring your little ass here. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like she has what piggying back off what Ryan says, she has proven why she's a Hashira. And I'm glad that they showed that before she went out.
Yeah. I think she had a little bit more hope, though, that poison would do more than what it did. But
well,
unfortunately,
she also said, yes, I think she did go in there hoping, but the minute that she said that she hadn't tested this shit against a upper, I was like, this finna be.
Yeah, but when would you get that good? I guess if she went against someone who was not him, like a lower upper ranked demon, and got to test it. But other than that, this is it. It's first time trial, and we.
It's like, her poison could work against any demon that's probably not an upper or lower moon. Lower moons possibly, but it's not like we would have ever been able to see that get tested, because she's basically putting Wisteria flower deep up into his neck, mixed in with anything else that she can think of.
Yeah.
And it's like, Doma, you got to keep in mind, him being the upper two and being alive for so long and all of Muzan's blood in him, it's like, girl, if you thought it was going to work on Doma, if it did work on Doma, it'll probably work on Muzan. But this man has most of Muzan's blood, which just shows you, like, hey, how far can our science go, and what is it that old girl, the demon, has got planned for why she's holding down Muzan in that little eyeball thing that she's stuck in.
Yeah.
Tamayo.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my girl went out like a G.
She did.
She did what she could.
She did.
She went out like a G. I'm ready. I'm just ready for the next part. Kanao versus Doma, and there's another player in the game. I'm not gonna say it yet because that's gonna be a manga spoiler. But when we get to that Kanao versus Doma fight, that's gonna be good.
And making sure that the fans are paying attention in terms of how they're paying homage. Kanao, she's strong and big enough to where she can do flower breathing like Shinobu's older sister did. So now you done finally seen insect breathing in full form. Now you finna see the other breathing that Shinobu wished she could have mastered. Which is going to be very fun. She may know the techniques, but her body and strength is not suitable for it. Similar to how Mitsuri wasn't suitable for flame breathing.
I'm talking about Kanao. Can't she do both?
She was trained under Shinobu, so she should know the forms. Yeah.
So yeah, I was just gonna to add on to that. Like now you finna get the best of both worlds. It's finna be Hannah Montana in this hoe.
You so like you so ugly for that. You so ugly for that. That was so ugly. I swear that was ugly. Like,
That's
that was ugly.
That's the boat world. Hannah Montana.
That was so
that's
ugly.
word to Hannah Montana.
That's how
She proud of that.
Yeah. Clip it. Clip it. It's going on YouTube. But let's talk about, we talked a little bit about it, but Zenitsu versus the Upper Moon 6.
Highly anticipated, obviously. Everybody was ready for his lock in to see his fight. It was good. I enjoyed it. I do. His backstory is kind of where I started. I wasn't mad at it, but it was when I started thinking about like how many backstories have we had up until this point.
It was just one.
But I guess it because it kept going into it, but it was good though.
Because they
I
kept
enjoyed
switching back and forth mid fight doing it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I was like, and that's when it started to click in my head. I was like, we probably finna get a lot of backstories, but at that point, I wasn't mad at it. You know, it wasn't too much. But my boy Zenitsu, he locked in. Proud of him. He did his big one. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish, because even though I remember Zenitsu's like fellow student, being a member of the Demon Slayers and eventually betraying him, I wish if the producers were to add anything, they did give us more visibility, especially during like the Hashira training arc of his class. I mean, what was it, fellow prodigy? What would
Like
you call him? Senior
co-captain, co-leader. I forgot what the actual word
Thunder
was.
Thunder Hashira a follower. I don't know. Like his senior, I wish they showed us more of him, because even though I read it among and I was anticipating this, I'm like, they kind of just throwing in like, yeah, he was always a part of the Demon Slayer Corps. And Zenitsu would go up to him and check on him and fight other people whenever they talk down on him. It's like, we never saw that. Like, that shouldn't have been a flashback. Y'all could have easily thrown that in to the Hashira training arc or something.
And that's fair. And that's fair.
Is.
They could have thrown that into the Hashira training arc if
to
they
create
wanted,
some build up.
Yeah, if they wanted to. Honestly, I think they could have gave us more insight into why Zenitsu was dropped off in that castle, like ready for the shit in Hashira training arc. So when we saw him drop off in there, it's like, oh yeah, wherever you are, whatever your name is, that's your ass. But like, when he dropped off in there, everybody was, I think it built the anticipation of, oh shit, Zenitsu's getting serious. What's about to happen? So I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
But to Ryan's point, if we were going to go backwards and try to build some sentiment around why we should care about Zenitsu's battle with this other guy, I think they could have put a little bit more in the Hashira training arc to hint to that.
I think had they made this a series, like this movie a series, they probably, they could have done that. But I think with them trying to build anticipation, like Fu just said, for a movie that they're putting in theaters, that was probably the best move for them to make. Because it just makes people wonder, like, what's about to happen. I'm finna spend my money on these tickets because Zenitsu ain't never locked in before. And so we gotta go figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's all just a retrospect thing. It's like, now that I'm watching it, now that I'm seeing that y'all are, after Hashira Training, y'all are actually willing to fill in the gaps that were missing from the story. Now that I see that y'all are willing to do that, I'm like, if y'all had decided to do that pre-entertainment district arc, I mean, y'all could have easily built up some more suspense or like some emotional attachment to Zenitsu Senior. Like, that could have been easily thrown in there at a few moments. You know what I'm saying? And it's because it's like the emotions were there for that fight. Like, don't get me wrong, the fight was absolutely beautiful. But I think they could, out of all of the upper moons that we're fighting, we could have easily had more attachment to that one if they added in a few more filler points.
I think I was more attached to the fight because of their teacher, the Gramps,
which we have seen before.
Right, with him committing seppuku because of his student turning into a demon. I think I felt attached to the fight from that point. Like, it kind of gave, like, Anakin and Obi-Wan, like, you were the chosen one. We were supposed to be together. You were my brother. Like, I felt the attachment on that level. Not, but I would say that them trying to build up, like them trying to give the flashbacks to the other dude, I was like, okay.
Yeah. He felt like a stranger in some type of way.
When he shouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? Like, he shouldn't have felt like a stranger. But, and another thing in terms of like missed opportunities, if they were to add more to the Demon Slayer story, Zenitsu creating a completely new thunder breathing form, and then Akaza alluding to the fact that Giyu created another water breathing form that didn't exist basically with the previous Hashira. I'm like, I wish the show went more in depth into the power system and how these new sword play forms are created and why they directly correlate to their breathing style in comparison to someone like who's doing love breathing like Mitsuri. She ain't necessarily doing flame breathing, but that influenced her love style breathing. I wish they went more into that so that we could get a better understanding of how this actual power system works. Because it was cool. Like, what led to Giyu creating that move that Tanjiro's own master probably didn't know? What led to Zenitsu creating this move? Obviously, it's probably from watching Tanjiro and Hinokami Kagura, but that would have been cool to learn about.
Well, I think Zenitsu's thing... Well, I think Zenitsu said the reason why he created it.
Well, he wanted to use it to fight alongside Buddy, but the fact that it counts as thunder breathing, what about it makes it count as thunder breathing? What goes into the foundation of creating a new power? Like, when are you going into the lab swinging at something and saying this is going to be a new thunder breathing form? You know what I'm saying?
Techniques has to make it this type of breathing
what
style.
What are the conditions that have to be met?
Exactly.
I gotta move fast. I gotta run fast. Like, and then it's thunder breathing.
Could it be just like the evolution of... Because if we're thinking of these breathing styles of like traditions that are being passed down, traditions evolve, they change, generations change, people see the world differently based on their surroundings and the way that of their upbringing. So Zenitsu, because of how we've grown with him, could have influenced the way that he developed this technique and took it beyond the past 6 breathing forms that already exist.
But I would have liked to see it, because like Tanjiro did get that treatment. Him being like Hinokami Kagura, I thought it was a dance. But then you recognize that what his dad's family lineage is passing down is swordplay in the form of dance. Even the way that you're supposed to execute this dance plays into how you properly execute sun breathing. Well, yeah, they talk about sun breathing because Killdrew's dad said that, so that's not a spoiler. But like the fact that we see Tanjiro develop sun breathing, even though he miscategorized it as Hinokami Kagura, I would have loved to see the development of new breathing styles, let alone new techniques for current breathing styles. Like, they hint that Kyojuro Rengoku, he didn't even have the book with the traditional flame breathing styles. He basically had to put 2 and 2 together based off probably watching his dad fight. And even that in and of itself is a crazy achievement. But we never learned enough about this power system, or rather breathing techniques in general, to really see that. I think that's a missed opportunity.
That's fair. And it probably just goes back to Antoine's point that this is a movie and we got milestones to hit. So it's like, here's what we can give you in this 2-hour and 30-minute thing. But had it been a season, maybe the episode would have been dedicated to Zenitsu's and his senior's relationship, him having the shortcoming of only being able to master the first form, and how that influenced him or encouraged him to say, hey, I'm going to create this 7th form so I can match up with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But still, I like Ron said, or whoever said it, the fight was peak. The lightning animation, the contrast between the yellow and the blue, just felt like Zuko versus Azula all over again.
Or Thunder and Lightning from Teen Titans, if you remember them.
Hell yeah,
I do.
That was a good reference. That's a good reference too. So But getting into the biggest fight, basically the one that carried us over into the end of the movie, Giyu and Tanjiro versus Akaza.
That whole first half, like before we got into the flashbacks, that whole first half was crazy. When Giyu locked in, you hurt my back.
He said
and
my
that
back
really.
He said my back hurts. Gets a whole demon mark. The
That's what it took to get you
understanding how that
serious.
mark unlocks. Like him getting pissed off about his back rolls his blood pressure to what they say, like a temperature of 120 or something to get your sword hot. Like that's what gave you a fever. That's what pissed you off.
He said, "You said I'm not even supposed to be working this hard."
like, not gonna lie, that was pretty freaking amazing. And out of all the relationships in Demon Slayer, aside from like the main three casts, I love how you see Giyu really treat Tanjiro like his protege. Like you can see, even though he's so nonchalant and everything, I'm really here not only trying to kill this demon, but I'm gonna protect my student. Tanjiro was supposed to be the next water breathing Hashira. He was supposed to take this burden off of me watching my friend die. And you see that throughout the entire fight without them overtly saying this is why he's doing it. You know what I mean? Like that was just lovely to see the entire time, because Tanjiro was at Hashira level. Yet he couldn't really keep up in the first half.
That's what I was about to say. In the first half, I love how they showed how the differences, I guess. So Giyu had that kind of experience where he could just jump right in and he can keep up with Akaza. But Tanjiro had to kind of like lock in and kind of tag in when he could, but at the same time he couldn't really keep up at first. Even though he dodged Akaza's attack in the beginning when he first popped up, he couldn't really just keep up with them. And I like them showing that scale, because it really shows where Giyu was and where Tanjiro was.
Like Tanjiro was almost there. Like he's almost there at Giyu's level, but he just needs more time. Like that's literally all he's missing at this point.
Yeah.
Beautiful fight though.
I was just about to say the way that they basically, I really like going back to Ryan's point about Giyu still seeing Tanjiro as his protege. I really like the way that they fought together. Like how Tanjiro was talking about how Giyu was anticipating his moves before he
Wait, can you still hear Portia, Antoine?
I cannot.
Phoop, your voice went out. Yeah. But I guess to kind of go into what Phoop was talking about, the way that Giyu, it really showed the Hashira's level of experience when Giyu was like, okay, I'm using fourth form because I can obviously see just by the way that Tanjiro's stepping and pivoting, he's about to use second form water breathing. And it really talks to the scale and the difference of their skill levels.
Yeah, it really does.
Something funny?
What?
My mic wasn't plugged in. I swear I plugged this mic in.
I thought we was running a podcast over here.
I thought we was running a podcast too.
Get your opinion off, Phoop. Get it off. Get your hot take off.
Right. What were you saying?
I looked down and I'm looking at the cord and I was like, suspicious. What I was trying to say before my sound went out, because I think I've been talking through the microphone on my camera the whole time. So that's going to be great when it's time to edit this. But what I was trying to say is that I really like the way that Giyu was playing off of Tanjiro. Where when they did like the whirlpool thing and how Tanjiro was like, Giyu was like anticipating his moves before he was actually doing them. And I was like, that's good shit.
Yeah. And like for anybody, because I'm still a Rengoku stan, for anybody who don't know, if Rengoku had modern day Tanjiro to help him fight Akaza, they probably would have won. Especially if Rengoku had Giyu and just another full Hashira. They could have got him if they could have emotionally stimulated Akaza to destroy himself and all that other stuff. But hey, that's
Yo, the craziest part about that fight, the whole fight was crazy. I think we've already established that. But the peak crazy of that fight is when they finally got when Tanjiro finally cut off Akaza's head, and they're like, finally, and then the man body just standing there, no head, like, oh, I'm not done. And it was like, you didn't reach level 2 of the boss. This is one of those boss battles where they go into the second phase where you didn't brought down that health you brought down the health bar and the thing started filling back up.
Yeah, this we up in here playing Elden Ring at this point.
Yo, I'm playing Tekken. It reminds me of like the end of Tekken 8 when Jin had to fight Kazuya so many times. I was like, look,
we ain't got no more health potions on our side. We done use all of our skills. We ain't got nothing left.
Giyu sword broke. Tanjiro passed out on the wall. It's getting dangerous.
We ain't got no more lives left.
And the crazy thing is, like, I actually forgot about that from the manga. Like, a piece of me was like, oh, this fight ain't over. What happened in the manga? Where is baby girl that is the reason that he's here? I was like, I sure did forget half of this.
I do remember Tanjiro being passed out. Now, I do remember Tanjiro passing out in the middle of the fight.
That's about it.
But I couldn't remember at where in the Akaza fight where Tanjiro was passed the fuck out. But as soon as he passed out on that wall, I said, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Look, but it keep going.
I was just going to say, I think that just goes to show, I applaud the Demon Slayer plot for this, for not making Akaza an easy kill, to still making Tanjiro work for it. Because the first time we see Akaza, where Tanjiro sees Akaza, is in Mugen Train. And this is early. So we've seen Tanjiro go through all these feats, all this training, getting the Himikage Kagura, or whatever, and still getting to Akaza, and Akaza's like, you are still not ready for me.
Yeah,
I wonder.
I'm still on that ass.
I wonder after that where he would be placed. Like if he was like after his little revival thing, when he was starting to revive his head. I wonder if that was like a power up for him. Like this Akaza is a new, stronger Akaza. Could he go head to head with number 2 now? Or is he like just a little still under him or something like that?
It depends on how you look at it, because essentially the way they was depicting it, it's almost as if he was evolving, which probably would have put him on the level to be tied with number 2 and number 1 by Muzan standards. Because what it reminded me of is like, I know y'all ain't finished Bleach, but the Ulquiorra character, he's basically the 4th strongest Espada, similar to the demons, and that's his rank. But he's the only one with a second release form after his first release. And none of the other Espada have that, but the master of the Espada, Aizen, never saw that. Which always makes Bleach fans wonder, wait a minute, would he have been number 1 if Aizen and all these other Espada actually saw that strength? That's what it reminds me of. He probably would have, if he let his evolution continue.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think it was nice to see
fighting. No, go ahead, Antoine.
I was just gonna say, I think it was nice to see on screen a demon actually like developing, and they're just not like this powerful being. They have this. This is their strength, and we don't get any growth or anything beyond that. I think it was nice to see on screen that he's actually getting stronger as we're fighting this man. So he's kind of like, the Hashira in a way. Like they fight and they get stronger.
Yeah.
So I think it was nice to see that on the demon side as well, because they're just not like stuck in one place. They developing too.
Exactly.
I think all of this, because like I was saying before, this first movie sets up a lot of shit. And I think the Akaza fight really like sets the standard. I would say a lot of things are setting up in the second movie that these are not going to be easy feats. Like whatever you've seen in these past couple seasons, everybody's going to have to work for it. And I think, and I wanted to bring this up, and Ron, I need you to confirm, because I know you remember a little bit more of the manga than me. That Shinobu versus Doma fight, that is not the first fight that happens in that castle.
If I remember correctly, I thought Guillaume and Muichiro locked into who they was fighting.
Okay, so I'm not wrong. There is a fight, and we're gonna have to stop it right here, because if we get to talking, we're gonna start spoiling.
Yeah.
There is a fight that is gonna happen in the second movie that happened first in the manga, and they switched it for this movie, and I think the reason why they did that is to just show the gravity of what's about to happen in this castle. Shinobu does not die first, but I think the reason why they made her die first, they have a Hashira die first in the castle, is to show you that y'all gonna have to work for this. Like,
there are
this is
stakes,
it.
like real
This
stakes.
is the
We just stepped
final
off in here and somebody
stage.
dead.
Right.
And honestly,
And
it would have. And honestly, it would have been a lot of context switching, because as manga readers, all 4 of the big fights that happen at this phase in the story were all happening at once. All of this was happening at once. These little portions where we see the underranking demon slayers go fight demons, that actually was not in the manga. We did not see any of that happening at the time. It was just all 4 big fights. And my whole thing is, I actually enjoyed this change, because when you take in the flashbacks and how everything felt long, if they showed this stuff how it happened in the manga, we would have not seen Shinobu die yet. And all of this would have been going on at once, and we would have gotten no actual climax or definable moment yet.
That's true.
All of the definable moments would have hit all at once in the next movie.
I honestly feel like I kind of feel like there would have been no true build up to the second movie if they did it in the order.
Have they introduced everything in the first movie?
When they get down into that basement, if that would have happened first, the rest of the other, I feel like everything else that happens in there probably would not have compared to the bullshit that's about to come up in that second movie.
Because if anything, it's kind of like a countdown. Because everybody, what the cliffhanger is, we see number 1 got angry, and it's like, how dare you die, Akaza? Yeah. If anything, it's like a countdown. We finished the first demon. We finished the 3rd upper moon. Well, really, we got 6 out the way first. We got 6 out the way. Now we're jumping up to 3. He's out the way. Now we finna do 2 and 1.
I honestly feel like they didn't even... I can't remember who said it, but I don't think they had high hopes for upper 6. Because I can't remember who said it, but somebody said like he hadn't fully mastered
that was
his demon form.
Tamayo's assistant.
Yeah.
The blue-haired demon. He was like, you should be lucky that he didn't master his demon arts.
Or you wouldn't have won that fight alone.
I don't really think they had... I don't think they had high hopes for him. So when they saw him get scratched off the list, it was like, okay. But when Akaza...
Your mic went out again.
You're out again.
But the funny thing about it, I like that they alluded to it, because in a lot of anime, you know, the big 3 of the main characters, typically they grow together. But it's like, no, Zenitsu, with only learning 1 of 2 forms of thunder breathing, he is not on the level of Tanjiro, who's utilizing original sun breathing to fight demons. He's nowhere near that. He only defeated the upper 6 because the upper 6 did not actually master his blood demon arts. And I feel like that was a really good choice to not change.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I like how I feel like we're climbing the ladder here. So get the 6 out the way. They're really building that anticipation even more, because it's like, all right, we got 6, we got 3. We just going up, and it's gonna get harder from here on out. So we have more things to look forward to, especially since the fact that they're making us wait 2 years for this. We have it's not like had they introduced number 2 and got it. Well, they did introduce number 2, but had they got really in depth with that, it wouldn't have been the same. They would have been introducing too many things at one time.
And the way they're pacing it, which I do appreciate, anime onlys are looking at this like, wait, Sanemi is off all on its own. Mitsuri and Obanai are over here flying through the air holding hands. What they finna do? Gyome and Muichiro over here. When it comes to these upper moons, are there like, is there a fight? Does Muzan got a new 5 and 4? Who's finna fight who? Yeah. I like that they're doing a good job at building up that anticipation for the anime onlys. Because for the manga readers, we jumped in and we was there for everything. All at once.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Nice. I don't know what's going on with my mic. But I had to drop off, so I kind of missed some of the conversation. So coming back a little bit with the piece that I did hear, I do agree that this movie does set up or does have you feeling the anticipation of like who is everybody going to fight next. And I think going back to Ahashira being the first one to kick the bucket in the castle really puts the pressure on the Hashira. Because up to this point, it's kind of like, well, maybe our faith was shaken a little bit when Akaza took out Rengoku, but then we see the rest of them. We see the lineup, and we've seen the things they can do, what they can do. But then we get into the castle, and like we 20 minutes into the castle, and they just kicking off Hashiras like it's nothing. Giyu then passed out in the middle of the castle, trying to fight Akaza in his second form. So like, what's next? How far are they gonna push these people in this castle?
Exactly. And for those who want to understand the ranking of the Hashira, just to know like how impactful that it is that Giyu is down, if I remember correctly, it was like Gyome, Tengen, Rengoku, or Sanemi. Then it was like Giyu. Muichiro had talent, but he still wasn't up there in terms of strength. And it's like Mitsuri, Obanai, and Shinobu. Keep in mind, one of y'all big dogs is gone, and the Rengoku big dog is gone.
Yeah.
So, and we lost a little quick poison girl. So how we finna finish this fight off? And we already see that beating an upper 3 requires a full-fledged Hashira with a sun breather who's at Hashira level. How are we going to beat the upper 2? And the upper 3 really ain't win by a losing fight. He lost because he felt like it.
And going
right.
and stepping away from the Hashira, if we want to look at, I would just say, let's just call it the next class. Kanao, Zenitsu, Inosuke, Tanjiro. Kanao is in that room with a upper 2 by herself.
Right. That's scary.
And all we see is she cut up.
Giyu just passed out fighting Akaza's upper 3.
Yeah.
He just passed out fighting upper 3, and he had an assist from Tanjiro. Like,
who's Hashira level?
Like, girl, get out now.
This is nuts.
Kanao that in there by herself, and I know how strong Kanao is. But are anime onlys? Are y'all assuming that she's as strong as Tanjiro? Is that what y'all are assuming? Like, even if she is, that's crazy.
I think for anime onlys, there's the way that they're setting up Infinity Castle is that anything can happen in this hole.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, there's no, yes, we could power scale and compare, but it's like anything can happen in this hole. People are doing things in this castle that they have never done before.
People are dying that ain't never done before. Man,
he really tickled over there.
Oh man, yeah. But yeah, this is exciting. Yeah, that would be real scary walking into that room, and your mentor is on the ceiling getting bear hugged.
First of all, she's getting crushed. You just walk up in there and he's crushing her, telling her, "Oh my God, I'm so glad that she was. I'm excited," or something he said. I'd be like, I didn't think he was gonna.
You really did your best. Like, you really fought your hardest despite being so weak. He ain't even chewing her up. His stomach is sucking her in.
He's just absorbing her. And I was just like, this is why Doma is like #1 rage baiter.
He your favorite demon, though.
He is.
Yeah, and they skip. And I don't remember if they
fight. Because of that fight alone.
Mm-hmm. And I know at some point in the movie they had kind of cut back to Kanao and the upper 2 up in there, and you can see that they had already start dueling because she was all cut up and stuff. So they already getting to work up in there. That'd be scary.
She's pissed. But I think they're doing it because of what happens next. Skipping the little buffer fight before shit gets serious, I think is a good call. Because getting into the next movie, I don't want to see that shit. Getting into this next movie, how you about to get down? Avenge me now.
And funny enough, I ain't gonna lie, it depends on how they do it. Even though I do like what's really coming with the Doma fight, it's the other fight that's gonna get me going.
When they get down
that
in that
other
basement,
fight
what whatchamacallit say, it's going down basement.
This man.
Like
oh my god, that was
Ryan is so sick of us in these one-liners.
Yeah.
Because what am I watching, Fast and Furious right now? Like I'm rewatching the movies and I'm like, I'm so sick of the Rock's like jokes. It just one-liners thrown random. I'm like, you're doing that right now. Like, who are you?
That's not my fault. That's not my fault.
Like, what is going on? It's going down basement. Like, what?
It is. That's the only way I can describe what's gonna happen in this next movie.
I got a groceries, nigga. Wait.
Not you wrapping the rest of the.
Wait.
See, I feel like this is how we feel when you start making food analogies.
No, because I don't make my food analogies to necessarily be funny. It's to teach. They're teaching moments. And King appreciates them because he understands exactly where I'm coming from.
It's not that we don't understand where you're coming from. It's just that we be having a conversation and then we start hearing about mac and cheese, yams, and pound cake.
We're losing the plot, and I could go for some mac and cheese and pound cake. That actually sounds delicious right now, but we're losing the plot.
So you got eggs and milk, right?
But I'm definitely looking.
I'm sorry, right?
Once you bring in that flour, that's what hold it all together. And that's the animation of Demon Slayer.
Right.
You can't do much with eggs and milk, but when you add some flour and sugar, now you got some dessert.
Okay.
So there's something I would like to ask y'all, because I be in them Twitter/X streets, and the anime new big three folks, the new anime fans of the pandemic, they're like, Demon Slayer is bigger than the big three just off of impact. And Phoop, as the newest anime fan in this group, I actually would like to get your opinion on that. How do you feel?
What are they
Demon
saying?
Slayer's impact. They're saying Demon Slayer is more impactful than the big three.
And the big three is Bleach, One Piece, and
Naruto.
Depends on how you ask.
Are they just saying that because of like how well the movie is doing in theaters?
That's what I'm assuming, and the fact that it has attracted a lot of more casual fans who are coming in, and the movie is like top grossing in Japan over Spirited Away and other movies.
If you were to, I guess, go into Antoine's thing, I guess it depends on who you ask, because I am a newer anime fan, but I guess because I know you, who's been exposed to anime for so long, and Antoine's been watching anime longer than me, because I've been in the circle and I know like the history of like where we started with this whole anime thing to up till now where anime is starting to become more mainstream. I don't feel like that's a fair statement to say, because it's because of the big three and everything that's come before that why Demon Slayer has this quote unquote big impact. The reason why we can get anime movies in theaters and people come out to see it and stuff, because there has been like a build up. There is it's like the community's already been there, but now that it's becoming mainstream, we can do things like this.
Yeah,
I love that answer.
Because if we want to talk impact, I feel like me saying yes, it has impact contradicts the whole conversation we had about Demon Slayer on being carried by animation. Because it's like, what pieces of Demon Slayer is really like hitting y'all in the chest? If we want to go back to our conversation about the plot, and we just established that the plot is repetitive, and that we're only clinging to Tanjiro because he's not that typical MC, what other pieces of Demon Slayer are really like slapping y'all in the anime community?
Right. Like other animes are gonna reference this. Other people are gonna be referencing this thing and from Demon Slayer for generations to come. Like a Kamehameha, basically. Something like that. What is the thing that Demon Slayer has, I guess, to
I don't know what
the Akira bike slide, which is in everything.
Right. Like, I don't know what the kids are doing in school nowadays, but if they're not doing breathing forms in the middle of the playground at recess, that's not impact. Because even when I didn't know nothing about anime, there were people screaming, trying to go Super Saiyan. I'm trying to do a Kamehameha because I think it look cool. I ain't never seen Dragon Ball, but I like looking at these kids.
And I ain't gonna lie, the only other thing I seen people practice was the Naruto hand signs, and even then they kind of gave
and when they running with their hands behind the back,
and then the thing
running like Naruto,
But I feel like Demon Slayer ruined. I don't know what the kids doing on the playground, but I also feel like Demon Slayer kind of ruined themselves for having that type of moment when they said that folks can't see them breathing styles for real. I want to bring this up too. I know the movie proved that them folks cannot see them breathing styles. The movie proved it because when we were in the hallway where Tamayo's little helper demon was treating Zenitsu, and that demon showed up, and what's his name, Murata, had that water breathing, and it was just a sword swipe. He said water breathing.
He did
and did a sword swipe.
And yet
no water animation.
Wait, didn't it have like a little bit? Didn't it have like a little stream after it? Like it had a little bit of water.
That was just a sword strike. That was a sword strike. That's it. It wasn't no water.
No.
It wasn't no water though.
I swear I could have seen a little bit of water.
No water.
No water, no splash, not even a water slide.
I could have sworn like a little bit.
No, that was just like the movement of the sword.
It's because it wasn't he ain't swing as hard.
That's all it was. It's not real. It's not real. And they proved it. It's not real. The movie proved it. The movie proved that nobody can see that shit.
And when
even
you don't
if you
see
forgot
it,
that they said that people can't see that shit, they proved that people cannot see that shit.
I mean, I'm gonna just be so honest though. I'm gonna be so freaking honest though. Even if they got rid of them elements, let me tell y'all something. Every breathing style has a this. Whether it's fourth form flame breathing, second form sound breathing, or whatever, everybody gonna do this. And if you ain't got no colors and some elements behind it, it's gonna get a little boring.
It's very underwhelming when they up there just striking, and that's it. That's it. If we don't see them colors and flashes and all of that.
When he said water breathing, and all I saw was swing, I said, "There it go."
For a pinwheel or whatever it was, I could have sworn I saw a little. I could have sworn I saw a little bit of a drizzle.
You was
nobody make it rain up in there.
You was hallucinating like a motherfucker. Because I watched it, I saw it, and I said, "Oh."
So that's how it looks when it's not being carried by animation.
So that's what it looks like in real life. First of all, this is what it is for real. You're not a main character. You don't get that. You don't get
You're not a Hashira or MC.
For you.
You're not Tanjiro.
Look. How they be on TikTok now? Clock it.
Antoine, what's that thing? You're not a main character, but you know a breathing style.
Look, man.
Yo, I just want to bring that up right quick because I was like, y'all just proved that people can't see that shit for real.
That was so funny to me.
In the movie, in the movie, you just proved that folks can't see that shit for real.
Yeah.
Y'all
like
just
going
swinging
back
swords.
to the initial question, to me personally, I don't think Demon Slayer has more impact than the big three. I don't think so. As a singular, I don't think it has impact on the anime community as a whole. Because there's so much shit that came before that has brought us to that moment. Like, I understand that Mugen Train, like when Mugen Train came out, that was like that started off the domino effect of people putting more anime projects in theaters. It's the reason why we got JJK Zeros, the reason why we're getting Chainsaw Man, why we got this 3-movie trilogy right now.
And then My Hero movie hit the theaters too after that.
Yes, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it has an impact on the way that on how we consume anime, but as like a whole, I think there are some things that attributed to why we see Demon Slayer a certain way.
What I think it is that one, it's a lot of people who really want to make like their hot takes, and I feel like they're just unable to articulate that Demon Slayer is one of the easiest animes for casual watchers, whether they are familiar with anime or not, to get into. Not gonna lie, I've seen people who I ain't never seen talk about anime say they went to this movie, but anime is mainstream now, so it's bound to happen. It's just bound to happen. Now, if you call that impact, I mean, it brought money into the anime industry.
Right.
A few people are wearing Tanjiro's little green square patterns on their book bag. I've seen a couple of kids with the little pins in their Crocs.
Giyu's. I got some shorts. Giyu.
But I will tell you that. But I will tell you this: 20 years ago, Goku book bags, and then their little orange gi outfits, t-shirts were the only things available in box lunch before anime got big. They were the only things available at Hot Topic when all you saw in the back was little punk rock t-shirts before we start seeing anime t-shirts in the back of Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Like, there's levels to it. And honestly, to stretch the question, I hope that Demon Slayer doesn't impact the anime industry. Because what does the anime industry look like if Demon Slayer becomes the main example for what to strive for? Peak animation with no plot? And no character development for real? I don't want that to be impactful. I don't want that to be the example.
I would just be curious to see. I think Demon Slayer's true impact will come when we look maybe 5-10 years from now at the anime that is coming out around that time and seeing if there's elements of Demon Slayer in that. Because I think in some of our anime reviews, we've had I want to harp on something that Ryan talks about a lot. When we get into certain anime reviews, he talks about the Bleach formula and how it's been repeated in multiple anime. Attack on Titan. We talked about the same thing in Kaiju number 8, where you can see
Demon Slayer.
Right, where we can see
JJK.
where we see elements of the big 3 or animes in the past come to fruition in these new animes. That's where we're going to see some significant impact. That if we 5 to 10 years from now, if we see an anime that pulls elements from Demon Slayer or had a true influence on where this is going, are we gonna watch an anime 5-10 years from now and say, oh, it's doing the Demon Slayer formula?
And honestly, I don't even know what, if we be honest, like, what is Demon Slayer's formula that isn't pulling strong influence from, say, Bleach and the other big 3 anime.
That's what I'm saying.
Outside of my sister's a demon and I'm trying to protect her, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can go watch some random underground anime on Crunchyroll right now that exists too. But what is the Demon Slayer formula?
Yeah. What's that element that's
you
really
see what
gonna
I'm
set them
saying?
apart?
Like, I hope. Exactly. And I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, let me gatekeep anime. I love when we get new anime fans. I love seeing people come into this industry because now that gives me more stuff to buy. But like, y'all got a little bit too much dip on your chip. Demon Slayer is very financially successful.
I think to say it's bigger than the big 3 is a stretch, is a reach. But to say that Demon Slayer has an impact on the way that we consume anime as a whole, I would give you a piece of that because of just how much money this movie has made in the box office. The fact that we could even fathom sitting for 2 hours and 35 minutes watching an anime movie like we do anything else.
The fact that Chainsaw Man, albeit a very successful one, only had one season, and their next arc is going to be a movie in theaters.
I mean, it's the same. It was the same thing with JJK. JJK had one season and went straight into JJK 0.
And that's what I'm saying. If we want to talk about Demon Slayer's impact, it's on the financials at ROI when it comes to how these publishers are finna release this stuff. The second an anime gets big now in the West, as well as Japan and the EU and Europe, we're going to get movies.
And that's what I'm saying.
Movies at that.
And that's what I'm saying. It's impacting the way we consume these new franchises. That the formula, maybe the Demon Slayer formula is just how new anime gets released. The formula is we're going to give you a season, give you a movie, give you a couple more seasons, give you another movie. Hey, we might end the season with a couple movies. And that's the formula. Not the plot itself, not the power scaling, not the characters, not any of the elements that make it what it is, but how it's being presented to the masses.
At least if it can get as big as Demon Slayer, JJK, and My Hero, for sure. Or rather, Attack on Titan and them too.
So
I could see it being big, like a big three for a newer generation. If you want to say
impact on that end,
even people can make those conversations like what is like the top 3 anime and manga pooling at this time, but it's like the big 3 title that was given to Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece wasn't just on sales nor popularity. It was also just the fact that they were the faces of Shonen Jump magazine in Japan, and I think the direct translation was like the Golden 3. Big 3 for anime fans pre 2020 was not a phrase that people was actually using. Like, people just knew that they loved Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, and they was also watching Seven Deadly Sins and Tokyo Ghoul and Parasite the Maxim after, and Soul Eater. That's it. Like, a lot of these terminologies and phrases and rhetoric is something that got big because it's like, well, the anime community got big, and we want to talk about who's the best and who to give our flowers to and what to recommend to any new fans. And I get it. If you want to just highlight Demon Slayer, sure, but like the big 3 term, you don't really need that. Because there's no replacing the original big 3. They will forever be the original 3 faces of Shonen Jump post Dragon Ball era.
And my thing is it's what are we getting out of that? What are we getting out of steady trying to dethrone the big 3?
Right.
You that's the funny thing. You get what is it called? Engagement on Twitter and YouTube, which is financially beneficial for some people. But outside of that, nothing, because Kishimoto and Tite Kubo and Oda, they got their money. Oda's still working. You telling him that, oh my gosh, One Piece is getting overthrown by Demon Slayer, don't do nothing. He's still making money off One Piece.
Yeah.
Hell, I pray that the mangaka for Demon Slayer, I pray that they give us her money this time around.
I wonder if it's just that because anime is becoming mainstream and people haven't been there since the beginning, I wonder if it's like because we feel behind. Like I've come into anime in 2020 where everybody was getting into it, and I didn't come in I didn't come in watching Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. So I'm going to make myself feel better or make myself feel important and say that these are my big 3 because this is where I came in at the time.
Honestly, I could see that being a lot of people's thoughts, even subconsciously. But I mean, that's any interest or hobby, though. Like, Phoop, you read comics way before MCU got big. Back when Batman, before even Christian Bale became the Dark Knight wearer of the mask, the Caped Crusader. Imagine if comic book fans said, Batman, he ain't no top tier comic book character. That dude's like bottom tier. He don't even compare to Iron Man. You, as somebody who was familiar with comic books way back then, would tell them, yo, you know that Iron Man comics barely sold anything? Do you know that Batman was one of the few heroes that even got the amount of movies he got? And one, that's DC and Marvel, which is the big two comic book industry, like, trailblazers. Like, what are you even talking about at this point? When it comes to hip-hop, imagine if somebody said, yeah, Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. are fire, but they couldn't hold a candle to Young Boy.
Statements are being said that words are being put together that should not be in the same sentence.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Y'all should never utter Akira, Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, Astro Boy. Astro Boy is the reason we got good opening songs to these new anime. You should never put them in the same sentence as Demon Slayer. Never. Unless you're saying you're glad that they walked so that Demon Slayer could run in the movie theaters.
I think it just goes to my point that because anime is becoming more mainstream and that people are coming into a time where they may feel behind because they didn't watch Naruto, or they didn't watch Bleach, and it's too many episodes of One Piece now that they're rejecting the idea of this being the big three. And like you said, it could just be subconscious. Like, I'm gonna make my big three because this is where I am in consuming anime.
Yeah, but at that point, it's like, and I agree with you fully, but it's like at that point, if you want to come into a new space and enjoy this new piece of media, if you want to learn, just be open to learning. Yeah, there's buttholes who like to gatekeep. I ain't one of them. But if you want to come in and learn the history, appreciate where you are, and be okay with that. I haven't watched every anime before 1999. In fact, the mangas that were releasing post 1998, i.e. One Piece and Naruto and them, is pretty much where I started. I wasn't there for the Akira generation and all of that. I had to go back and watch those films. But that's okay. Start where you at and keep pushing. But don't be trying to talk outside your ass and make statements that have no supporting evidence. You just talking to get engagement.
Yeah. I think at the core of this, because I'm thinking about it a little more, because we talked about financials, and I think it's just the same thing with music, that we're so focused on numbers that we're not focused on the substance itself. Because Demon Slayer, this first movie has been breaking records for an anime movie. And we've been looking at the numbers instead of looking at what Demon Slayer is. And because the numbers are so high and it's breaking these records and it's doing all of these things, is that impact. But like we just talked before, what we've been saying this whole time, when you really look at Demon Slayer, when you really open up that manga in the middle, what impact is Demon Slayer actually having?
Because I'm telling you, that mangakas in Japan is not looking at the mangaka of Demon Slayer and said, girl, you did something legendary. If anything, they saying, hey, are you getting paid for this? Because if you go sit down and read that manga, it didn't. Y'all love the animation for this anime. Demon Slayer is one of the few franchises where, like, I will always say, don't read the manga, watch the anime. It is one of the few franchises I'll say that for. This art style that you see in the anime is not reflective of what's in the manga's art.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I ain't even going to make them type of hot takes. Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece's art style still look better on manga paper than Demon Slayer's art, and that's no shade to the artist. It's just the shading, the shadowing, the art, the lines, the way they depict scenes without a background, especially for Bleach. It's not there, but it got a great anime adaptation, a beautiful one.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I wish Togenunki got that, but I'm gonna save that for when we do our catch up of all the anime we watched this season.
But that was a good conversation. That was pretty much everything that I had for the review. Did you guys have anything else?
Y'all want to see my sword?
You finished it?
Yeah, I still got to do the other pieces, but this is the sword. It's
Wait,
the
is
sword
that like
done.
a Lego set or something?
It's bricks.
Yeah, it's brick, all white brick, basically.
It's not a Lego set. Like, it's not Lego, but it's bricks. That's the best way I can put it. It's bricks.
I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm sorry. I had to. She set it up for
I
me.
actually do, and you know I do like Gucci Mane, but I just hate you. I just don't like both of you right now.
It was there though.
It was so
I got
ugly.
white bricks right.
It was so ugly.
Ron said he's so sick of us in these damn one-liners.
That was so ugly. That was so ugly, bro.
But I had to do it though. I'm sorry, audience.
And you look so happy. All white bricks. Got a new, like, what he said after that? Got to do something like that. Like, cut it out.
Oh.
See, you in there playing. See how you get in there playing?
Done broke his white bricks. Done broke the hilt off.
Yeah.
I called it.
Yeah, you need to go ahead and put that down.
Mm-hmm.
We loved your show and tell, but you need to put that down.
But go sit down. Go sit down at your desk now. That's enough.
But if that's it, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. So once again, thank you, Ryan and Antoine, for joining me on another episode of the Blurred Mob Podcast. Shout out to everybody who tuned in into the review. Whether this is your first time or 50th time checking us out, is always appreciated. I will put the timestamps below because I know our Impact conversation kind of got a little bit off topic, but with the movie, but kind of stayed in the realm of anime. So, yeah,
that probably would be another short form content, huh?
Yeah. Now, the way the conversation went, we could have broke that off into another video, but we might just break it off anyway. Hell.
Movie magic.
we might just do it anyway. But if you stuck through the whole time, we appreciate it. Leave your comments. Let us know how you felt about the movie and how you felt about Ron's question about Demon Slayer and its impact on the anime community. Make sure to follow us on social media. We're on Instagram at the Blurred Mob Pod. We're on Twitter at the Blurred Mob. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and TikTok at the Blurred Mob Podcast. And if this is your first time checking us out, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can be notified for our next mob review, regular episode, or short form content. And with all that being said, this is the mob checking out. Peace.
Like, these folks are finna be like global terrorists. Like, y'all think they're just working in Japan? If One For All gets to Shigaraki, they're like, every nation will be in trouble.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, in the fact that if they weren't recording it, y'all would